My name is Abi Akinsho, and I'm the CEO of Eras Legal Services. I'm a native of Ibadan. I was born at Ibadan, Oyo State of Nigeria, and that's where I grew up. I later won a scholarship to go and study in Bulgaria. So I left Nigeria in '87 to go to Bulgaria, where I studied psychology, both for my first degree and second degree. And after that, I moved over to the UK. Fortunately or unfortunately, when I got to the UK, I was persuaded by someone to actually go into mental health nursing, as there seems to be more prospect there in nursing, at that particular time. So I heeded to the advice, and I then changed my career. Then went to King's College, London, where I actually pursued my training in mental health nursing. And then, of course, from there, I graduated. I then started working as a registered nurse, and to God be the glory, within a short space of time, I was able to become a ward manager, and then from there, I became a matron. From matron, I became a service manager. Yeah, it was in 2015, and I just got this email from someone who has actually been following my progress in the community. And then I was nominated for this honorary doctorate degree in Nigeria with Victoria Global University. I was shortlisted, we were interviewed, and then they requested for my CV, all the differences we've been making in other people's lives. And on the basis of that, I was presented with a doctorate degree award, which I'm very grateful for. And that has actually motivated me to actually be doing more in the community, in the society, for humanity. I also believe that because I've been so blessed, I also believe that something should be put back into our community back in Nigeria. So on the basis of that, last year I set up my foundation called Dr. Abi Akinsho Foundation, and we're supporting motherless babies in Nigeria and orphans. And to God be the glory, to be very consistent in our support to those less privileged children. And that process, that project is very close to my heart. And then, to God be the glory, we are also making a difference in Nigeria. Some people in the community actually approached me that, look, we need people like you in the House of Parliament. We need people like you who can fight, our corner, people who can fight for our cause. And they encouraged me to go into politics. And then on the basis of that, in 2010, I decided to contest, as member of parliament in my area around Thamesmead, as an independent candidate, and I didn't do badly. I think I came 4th or 5th at that election, and that gave me a bit of confidence, to go further. And then in 2015, I contested again under the platform of Green Party within the Greenwich constituency. And then to God be the glory, I think I came 4th again at that particular time. But I could see progress from the 2010 election, when I contested again in 2015. And the reason why I believe in becoming a member of parliament is that, when you are there, you can make a difference. You can challenge the status quo, you can fight for your people, you can fight for the society, you can fight for the community. Because, by sitting on the fence, you cannot effect any change. You need to be part of the decision-making process before you can actually make any difference in this society. And that was what motivated me to go into politics. So I experienced a turning point in my life when I became a mother matron and service manager. That was when I realized how BME nurses are being maltreated, how they are being humiliated, and they don't have any support, nobody to support them. So I decided to use all my expertise, knowledge, and skills to actually challenge the status quo. And it was on that basis that I decided to actually resign from my NHS job as a service manager to go and set up my advocacy business, where, I'll be able to support all the BME nurses, that have been either taken to disciplinary hearings or being referred to their regulatory body called Nursing and Midwifery Council. Well, you see, there's one thing in this country, when you believe in yourself, you just have to believe in your own dream and vision. I believe I could make a difference. When I left my job, I was earning good money as a senior manager in the NHS. I was very comfortable. I was earning good money, but I still wanted to make a difference in challenging the status quo, in supporting those nurses that are going through a lot. So on the basis of that, I set up this advocacy business known as Eras Legal Services. It stands for Employment Rights, Representation and Advisory Services, which is widely known across the UK. I have clients all over the country, and to God be the glory, we've represented hundreds of Black people both at the Employment Tribunal and at the various regulatory hearings at the NMC or HCPC, and to God be the glory, we've been able to support people to actually keep their licenses rather than being struck off. No, not at all. I've said that to people several times. I'm not a qualified solicitor, but that's one thing I like in this country. If you have self-belief, it can take you far. I was determined to make a difference, and on the basis of that, I decided to actually study employment law and regulatory law at home by buying books, reading on internet, and to God be the glory, with those skills and knowledge, I now have a lot of qualified solicitors that actually work with me to actually support the BME nurses and doctors, social workers, and midwives. My success rate, I would say, to be honest, I've got about, let's say, 95% success rate. That's how good we are. And then most of our referrals are actually coming from those people who have represented successfully in the past. So we rely more on the, verbal referral rather than, spending money on any marketing strategy. One of the greatest challenges I face in this business is, to get people to pay for our services. In Eras, we're doing a fantastic job. We're supporting a lot of people. We're winning cases all over the place for people. And we just want for people to pay promptly so that, we can keep on supporting them, we can keep on advising them, and we can keep on existing. Otherwise, our record speaks for itself. One of the main problems that our people are facing at work is what I would call non-disclosure. As a nurse, you are meant to be the ambassador of the profession. So when you have issues outside work, like maybe you are being caught for drink driving, maybe you had a fight with your neighbor, maybe you are being taken to court for beating up your child or whatever, that has to be reported to your regulatory body, which is NMC. And you have to also inform them at work. But what's been happening is that most people will keep this to themselves, even during the court proceedings. They will not tell the employer, they will not tell the NMC. And by the time the verdict comes out, and you are now approaching your employer or your regulatory body, it becomes a problem. Because they will say, you're supposed to have told them at the point of you being referred to the court or to the police. Another common problem, rather, so to speak, is what we call drug error. Drug error, that's a clinical issue. There's no problem, if someone has made a drug error, but you need to be open and honest with it. But what's been happening, most people will make drug error and they will not actually disclose it, they will not complete an incident form, they will not inform the doctor. That's when it becomes a problem. But if you make drug error and, it's being reported, you call the duty doctor to come and see the patient, you do your documentation in the patient's note, you complete your incident form, then there's no problem. Your management or your manager rather will support you through that process. It becomes a problem when you did not disclose it and when you did not fill an incident form. And that seems to be quite common among our people, because they say, oh, I don't want to lose my job. No, I don't want to, to tell anybody. But eventually they will get to know. and then it becomes a major problem that they might not be able to deal with easily. My advice to those nurses or midwives, who are facing disciplinary hearings at the moment, there's no need for them to panic. The first thing they have to do is to ensure that they seek, legal advice. They cannot actually go by the advice being given to them by their union without seeking second opinion. They need to seek second opinion. As soon as you have a problem, speak to people like us. We'll take you through the process. We'll guide you, about how to get things sorted. But the earlier, the better. Disciplinary hearings or regulatory hearings, they are not things you can face on your own without having appropriate and adequate legal advice. And that's why you need someone like us, like ERAS Legal Services, to make a difference in your case. The earlier you get to us, the better. And we can be contacted on our website, which is www.erasconsulting.com. Alternatively, on our number, which is 07956 345 935. And that's our 24-hour service number. You just have to believe in yourself, and when you have made up your mind that this is what you want to do, you have to burn the bridge. Because that's exactly what I did in my job.